I have with me today? I have a very special guest. Oh my god, it's been a while.
It's been a hot minute.
It's been a while. As you guys may know who this person is, this is a very special person.
Aww.
As you can see, we are in a car. We are in a moving vehicle.
We're road tripping.
But we're here, and we're back.
We're back. Gabriella, Caitlin's roommate.
Yes, if you guys did not know, and if you are new to my channel, this is
Aries Sun,
yes.
Leo Moon, Cancer Rising, very Cuban.
Abby over here was my roommate for the entire freshman year of college. Woo! And we are rising sophomores at Emerson College. We're gonna tell you guys the tips that we have for you guys involving roommate situations.
Yeah.
Because
oh my god!
I'm gonna tell you guys the system that we had and then just our experience as roommates together.
The dorm life thing?
Yeah.
Let's just hop right in.
Let's hop
like every iconic YouTuber starts their videos. Yes. So the first thing that we're gonna talk about is communication. And that is really, I mean, you're gonna hear that everywhere, like communication is key with your roommate, but it really is.
Yeah.
Like
for at least freshman year, for us, we were totally not used to living with like other people in a building and just another person in general. So we had to figure out a way, like a system that was good for both of us. And I think over time we have like little ups and downs along the way, but I think that's all about like the experience too. Like you're gonna have those moments where you don't feel the best, and like I think that's just a part of like college too. And dorming especially is a really important part about college. And so I think one of the things that we definitely want to mention is communication and having really good communication skills with your roommate.
Yeah, that's so true. And it's like you always hear about like roommate horror stories, and it's like everyone comes from such different backgrounds. Like of course you're gonna meet people and find your people, and you guys like, you know, click or find people who are like similar to you. I mean, like for Kaitlin and I, we both have siblings, so it's like we grew up with siblings in the house, but like sharing a room and like living in like that room was something new for us. Communication's a very big thing because it's like when you're getting a roommate, a lot of times you're gonna have to like discuss like who's gonna get the fridge, who's gonna get the microwave, or things like that, or like how are we gonna split those costs. Like for us, she bought the microwave and I brought the fridge, and we both just paid for ourselves, but it's like we equally use them. Like they were for the room, they were for us. So like that's a thing. It's like making rules and boundaries in the sense of like what is going to be shared, what is going to be mine, and what is going to be yours.
Yeah, because as much as you're working as one unit in one room, you are two separate people, and you may clash and you may be like best friends. You're working as a team. As freshmen too, like we were both new and we were both having new experiences. You just have to work as one rather than like if you clash, and we did clash sometimes, but then we got, it is normal, and we got through it, and now we're like really close with each other. And I wouldn't change it for the world because those experiences, I think we both personally definitely needed them. Yeah. As individuals.
Oh, 100%.
And as a team.
Because all of those things make you grow as a person. And then that's like a big part of college is growing and finding who you are. And your freshman year roommate, as like, I feel like cliche as it might sound, it's like that person's always gonna like stick with you. Yeah. And one way, and maybe like a sense of like memory.
Yeah, to tell like a story.
Or like that person might be your bridesmaid. Yeah. Or like something like that. You know what I mean? Yeah. I have a friend who goes to Creighton University in Nebraska, and his freshman year, they wrote like contracts with each other on, and it was all like written out on like, this is the time, like it is quiet, this is the time lights are out, this is the time people are allowed to come in the room, things like that. And that's honestly very important. Yeah, we kind of like were pretty like balanced well on that.
Yeah, we did. We didn't have like a written contract, but we talked a lot in the beginning, and like as we went through, as I keep saying, like we were new to the college environment and like our studies too, so we also had to coordinate our schedules too. And alone time is really important. I feel like not a lot of people stress about this. Like I didn't really think how much stress or like socially exhausted I was in the beginning with like orientation and everything. Alone time is very valuable for both of us, and even though like you want to make those friends, you want to make those connections, but you need that time for yourself. And so if you coordinate and communicate with your roommate about like your schedules and like what time you want the room to yourself and what time does
classes, I mean, I know for some schools, like freshmen can't really pick what course times they are. Like I know at Emerson, you kind of like get a schedule, like a set schedule your freshman year. Second semester, you get to like change it up a little bit. For us, I had all my classes kind of in the afternoon, and then Kaitlin, you had yours more in the morning.
Yeah.
So the morning time, like I didn't start class till 2 p.m. So I had all morning to kind of like slowly get out of bed and get ready and take my time, and then I would be in class until 5:45. Kaitlin, during all of my time when I was in class, she would be in the dorm, and we wouldn't like see each other again until like maybe like 6:30.
Yeah.
And I think that worked out pretty.
It really did.
Well, since I would be like, my class didn't start till 2, I would sleep until like noon sometimes. But like Kaitlin, she would have her classes at 8 a.m. So she would get up and do her things, but I was heavy sleeper, so I didn't really wake up. But in the second semester, I had classes in the morning when she didn't, so I had to be like super extra careful because she's a light sleeper. So it's like those little details you really have to like be super keen on, because it's like, it's their room too as much as it is yours, and your room should be a safe space.
Yeah. But yeah, we always said our room was like a sanctuary.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, like we always stress about how, or we always talk about how like our room was kind of the room.
It was the room. It was the hub.
Especially first semester. Second semester kind of like died down a little bit just because everyone was kind of mingling with each other. Our room was definitely the room in first semester, and there was always a ton of people in our room. There was just like a ton of people always coming in and out of our room. And like, it's not like we didn't like having all of those people in our room, because we just like, we're very social people.
Yeah, we like company.
We love company.
We love friends.
And it's not like we didn't like them in like having them in our room, in our space. But as I said before, like you need that time to be alone. You need that time to yourself.
No,
whether it's just like us having our afternoon nap, or just like we need to do work in the room and we need to focus. And there was a point where we had to put a sign on our door saying like when we were in and when we were out, because we were just very overwhelmed with company and we just needed that time for ourselves. And we always, both of us value self-care and like time for ourselves tremendously. And so I think that was much needed for us, especially going into second semester.
I agree. I think the sign was very necessary. As Kaitlin said, our room, so we lived on 12th floor, and it's kind of interesting how there was kind of like two different sides of the 12th floor. Yeah. We lived on the north end, and we were kind of like a little group. Yeah. And then the south end was all its own little group. And each floor is a little different on the way that they interact with each other. Some floors don't interact at all. Some floors it's everyone. I know the 7th floor in LB where they were like tight. Like Kaitlin said, we were the hub. So everyone would always come to our room. Everyone would always come to our room. And there'd be some times where it's like I'm getting ready in the morning and people would knock on the door and just be hanging out in the room. Or like I'd be about to leave for class, Caitlin's coming in and she's starting to do her work, or there'd be people there. There's always people there. And again, I love all my friends and I love them, but there's some times where it's like you need your own space, and you're not being selfish by asking for that own space, because it's like you're not gonna have fun and your friends are not gonna have fun if you're not happy.
Exactly.
The sign, while it did cause a bit of a controversy, it was much well needed, and I think I got the point across very well. And we still had friends over, but people learned and realized like we cannot be overstepping their boundaries.
Like, this is our room, like this is our sanctuary. This is the place where we go for our time.
Speaking about 12th floor, neighbors
okay,
are important.
Neighbors, yeah,
because it's like, again, you have your roommate, but there's 2 more people, 3 more people, how many more people living right next door to you, and those walls can be thin as ice.
Very, very thin.
And for us, we had 2 different experiences, because we had, again, 2 neighbors. We're in the middle. One set were close friends of ours, and we loved them very much. And Kaitlin said somebody then used to know, there was one time Kaitlin and I and our friend Will were belting that song over and over and over and over and over again. And then the girls next door, who we were friends with, Tatum and Reagan, hello, they ended up hearing us and they joined in our song. However, the girls on the other side of the wall did not appreciate that and were banging on the wall to get us to stop, or they would call on us a lot of times for noise complaints. However, I will say some of them were there were some times where we were being loud. I am very loud. I have a loud laugh. I talk loud. That's just how it is. I don't know. Maybe it's the Aries. There were also some other times where it may have been like 4 p.m. on like a Thursday afternoon, and they would like call the RAs on us for noise complaint for us being loud when maybe it was just like my hair dryer or my vacuum.
Yeah, the vacuum.
The vacuum.
Like we were being like sometimes.
Yeah,
like,
no,
loud,
definitely.
like, and we were kind of overstepping. And yes, again, this is also an experience because we were also freshmen. Like we just wanted to have a good time.
Yeah.
I think also to like respect is like
very much needed.
Very much needed on your floor, in your room.
Yeah.
Like just overall everywhere. And we can talk about respect when it comes to like cleanliness.
Very important.
Your well-being and like honestly just being a neighbor and like a floor mate. Our 12th floor, we were like a community. Like Gabby was saying, like all of the floors in our building were pretty tight for the most part. And our floor, like we met so many amazing people that just like we all respected each other and we respected each other's places. And with neighbors, I mean our RA was like two doors down
and the RD.
It stopped.
We just kind of want to say about neighbors, make sure there's respect between them. Because noise complaints are not fun.
They're not fun.
While they might be just, in times, I will admit, we were loud. We could talk about how to utilize our RA and RDs.
We were really close with both of our RA and our RD. Our RD was actually on our floor and a couple doors down. And so was our RA.
So
Spencer. RAs.
RA Spencer. We love Spencer so much.
Yeah.
He was a great RA, and so were the other RAs on our floor, Stephanie and Rocio.
A lot of new things in college. Just know that your RAs are always going to be there for you. Like, I've mentioned this before, but that's literally their job.
Yeah.
Like, to help you.
Very much.
And so utilize, like, the RA duty phone. And even though they may seem like
a little annoyed sometimes,
very like,
but it's like they don't want to get you in trouble. That's more work for them. In the end, it is more work for them.
Yeah.
But
and they're college students just like you.
Exactly. So they've been through it already. They've been through it. Using your RA is so important. Like I said, you're going to experience a lot of new things, and that can even result in situations where it can be very like life or death in the sense of like alcohol poisoning. Something like that could happen. It's very, very common.
Very common.
Getting your RA is the key step because they are the person to get help and to fix the situation or help with the situation. Or you're going to be having something a little different. Like you and your roommate are just having some basic issues and having someone to talk to about that who is a mediator would be very good. They're trained to be able to help in these types of situations.
Go back to communication, and before you think about like moving to a different room, try and talk to the other person because ultimately they're probably going through something and they're probably just trying to figure themselves out. So talk to them before you decide or assume that their living style is completely different than yours. Like try to get to know them before you assume something. But also like our RAs and our RDs helped our friends move out of rooms that they didn't feel too comfortable in, and don't feel awful or bad about yourself or guilty for wanting to switch rooms because like that's totally fine and that's totally okay, and you have resources to talk to about your problems in your dorm rooms. And so utilize the people that you have around you that you can talk to, and you can always knock on their door if they're in to see and if you ever need help with it.
Sometimes they have office hours, like before you go and complain to your mom on the phone, think, what can I fix the situation here? When you're in college, you're on your own. These are problems that you're gonna have to like fix, and like they're hard. I mean, like talking about like our own conflicts, not gonna be specific here. I feel we've had conversations about how we would handle it now versus then. Then we were both very scared of like kind of confronting each other. I hate to say confront, but we're just like about like talking about whatever the issue may have been, which kind of led to just like tension, a little like
very much a lot
passive aggressiveness,
and like since we were really good friends, like we both considered each other really good friends. It was really hard and sad to talk to each other about these things, but it's very much needed. Very much needed.
Why stay unhappy and not be able to talk to him when you can just find some sort of way to get help, like buy a mediator or getting out of the room if necessary, or just like talking.
Just talk.
Sometimes writing it out, or being like, maybe we should make a pros and cons.
We're the Harry Styles household.
We were 1225.
25.
Okay, I know you're like not supposed to have them, but like we had 2 tapestries of Harry Styles.
You don't have to say you love me. You don't have to say nothing. You don't have to say you're mine.
Walk through fire for you.
This is chaotic, Gab. Chaotic. Chaotic. I hope you guys took something out of this video.
Yeah.
And if you're not already, go subscribe down below and turn on the post notifications.
I have them on.
I will see you guys in the next video.